friends, I am going to show you how to draw this cute little Christmas truck carrying a Christmas tree. It's actually really easy. I'm going to show you how to break down each part into a shape, and then you just keep adding the shapes until you are ready to fill them in. So to start, we're going to start with the wheels. That's step one. Try to find an object that will work for the shape of the wheels. You don't have to freehand the circle. I'm going to use my little chalk dust dish that I have. Sorry, my light is a little bright. So the one thing you want to make sure is that you have the wheels lined up. So I need to find my ruler really quick. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, so first we're going to do our wheels. All right, and then you have your back wheel and your front wheel. I'm just eyeballing this really quick. Okay, so that's step one, is drawing those. I just eyeball how far apart I want these. This is going to be the middle of the truck where you have the door, so you can see this. The middle of the truck where you have the door and the start of the back of the bed. So you want to make sure you have enough room for the door and then the beginning of the bed. Not an exact measurement between the wheels. It really just depends on the size of your chalkboard. Okay, so next we're going to have the casing that goes around the wheel. And so I'm going to put my ruler on top of the wheels just so that the shape doesn't go below this spot. So all you're going to do is you're going to just freehand lightly. When you're doing a circle, sometimes it's easier to kind of sketch slowly. Instead of drawing one continuous line, you're just doing like small strokes that mimic the same shape as you had before. And then once you feel like you have a steady hand, you can go around. Okay, so that's the start of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up from the ruler and we're going to create this like round shape here. And it's going to come all the way around and mimic. And remember, this is just a sketch, so if it's not perfect, you can come back and erase and add to it. And then you're going to do the same thing to this front part. The only difference is when it comes to the front part, we're going to add a bumper, like a front bumper. So once you bring this guy around and you get to the front, here is where we're going to kind of add these like square, like kind of a square shape, because this is actually going to be like the bumper of the car. Once you have those casings done, sketched in, we're going to do the like bottom of the truck, or like the step to get into the truck, and that's going to fill the space between the wheels. So line up your ruler, and I just have that shape meet the outer casing of the wheel. So you draw that line and then just have it kind of mimic the same shape as the wheel that you have there. Okay, the next part is we're going to break this space into the door and the back bed of the truck. And so you can see that this is a little bit smaller than the shape I have here. So I have a little more room for this, but it doesn't matter. You're just going to make sure that the door has more precedence than anything else. So I'm just going to mark it here that I want the back bed to start around this direction. And so I'm going to bring that up with my ruler. And you want it to come up right above that wheel cap, I don't know, wheel hub, whatever you call it. Okay, and then it's going to come across. And the idea for this design of this truck is when you're drawing it with chalk, you want it to come a little bit past the wheel because it will come down to the back bumper. You want each shape to have its own separation, because once we color it all in, you're going to see that these black spaces become the dimension of the design. So you want to have these individual shapes for all of these little spots. All right, so I'm just going to finish off the back bed by drawing the back part. So I want a line that's going to come down, and then I'm going to create like the back bumper. Okay. And once I start reaching these lines here, I'm just going to follow and be parallel to these shapes. And then once I sketch these shapes in, you're going to see that definition. Okay, so there's that back bed. And then the next step is we're going to bring the door and the window in, and then I'll show you how to do the rest. So I've started creating the shapes for the door and the main part of the truck, and then the hood of the truck. So the biggest thing about this is to keep those edges rounded. So I'm going to bring the hood of the truck down and kind of round it into the shape of the bumper. And then again, I want to keep space between my lines because that will create the dimension once I color everything in with my chalk or my chalk marker. Okay. And then here, we're going to just do our window shape. I'm freehanding it, but you're welcome to use your ruler to create this. Okay. Alright, and then I think I'm going to get rid of that shape here and kind of bring it more this direction. Alright, so now we have our hood, we have our shape for our window. I'm going to do a little rectangle here for the handle of the truck. The next step is going to be adding, we have a couple lines here we're going to add to the back of the truck. This is going to kind of be the fencing or the guard on the back of the truck to keep the tree in. And I'll thicken those up in a minute. And the next step is to sketch in our tree. All right, I'm going to show you how to draw a Christmas tree here in a minute, but we always start, or a pine tree of any kind. You're going to start with this vertical or angled line. This is going to be the middle of the tree, and then from the top, we're just going to bring lines down. So here's a rectangle, kind of like arrow shape at the top. This is the top of our tree. And then as we come down, you want to be kind of random, but your lines should get longer as you come down. So they start short, and then they start to get longer. They keep the same angle, but they get longer as they come down. And overlapping is great because that adds the dimension and the layering that we want to create to make it look like a realistic kind of pine tree, Christmas tree. Okay, so you keep adding that as you go, and then the last detail that I like to add is like a little star at the end, like nothing fancy there. And now that you have your truck drawn, you're going to go back and you're going to fill in each shape with chalk, and you can see I added a little like hubcap here. And then once you add in the chalk to all the shapes here, you blend them, and then you have your Christmas tree truck. All right, so I know you saw this in the introduction to the class, but here's the little mini version of the Christmas tree truck that I did on this ornament. You can see I did the basic shapes. I just colored them in, added a little bit of shading, and added all of those things. So that is what it looks like when it's all filled in. It's so cute and pretty simple. If you just stick to those basic shapes, then you will be good to go.